this is your first feature film, and more often than not, first features can be hard to get off the ground. What hardships did you guys go through to get this film to the big screen?
What hardships did we go through? We went through a lot. It took us a couple of years to kind of put the project together, and the kind of soup to nuts from starting to write the script to premiering it. We premiered it at South by Southwest was about 5 years. So it took us about a year to do the script, and then from then it was just a process to find financing, to get the cast and crew, and then in post production. So it's just sort of been a long kind of process, as obviously, like you said, so many first features are.
Yeah, and in that light, were there any like almost times where it looked like it was happening in that 5 year span? Yeah,
there was kind of one time where we went and scouted locations, and we went and looked at different states. We started sort of with the states that have the big tax incentives, so we were like Louisiana, South Carolina, Rhode Island. We went and scouted. It looked like we had a financier, we were ready to go, and then it sort of got delayed, and then finally it was sort of evident that it wasn't going to happen. And that was sort of our only time where it was like, okay, this is about to go, and then it kind of didn't happen.
Brotherhood was filmed in Arlington, Texas, which anyone from around here knows Arlington.
Sure.
What was it like filming there, and why Arlington?
For me, it was great, and it was great because I grew up there. So I'm originally from Arlington. I went to Arlington High School.
Okay.
And the fraternity house that we shot at was like 2 minutes from like where I went to high school. It's probably like 15 minutes from where my parents like currently live, and 15 minutes from where the house that I grew up in. So for me, it was just great being back in such a familiar place, surrounded by familiar people. And people were so excited for us to be there, and just kind of helpful, like anything we needed. Like the city was great. They would like shut down streets and like just help us out with different things. So for me, I think it was on your first feature especially, it's tough to be in kind of a place that you don't know very well, and so being in a place where I grew up was very comfortable. And I think it just helped with the process of doing my first feature.
Well, that's good that the city was so welcoming to you guys.
Absolutely.
Because, I'm sure it helped tremendously while making the film. The cast chemistry is crazy good.
Oh, thank you.
It's so well done. What was the casting process like?
The first guy we brought on was Trevor Morgan, and Doug and I actually we'd seen Trevor in a movie called Mean Creek, and we just thought he had such kind of like authenticity to him, and there was like an integrity about his character. That I think we responded to, and so Trevor was the first person that we brought on board, and he was just really excited about the project, and he just kind of like he and Trevor and Lou have been best friends for a number of years, and then John and Lou knew each other, and so they were kind of all just friends that kind of came together, and then some of the other actors in it, like Jesse Staccato, Meyer DeLue, Preston Vanderslice. Those guys are from LA too, and sort of were friends of mine that had been in like the short film that we did, and so it was kind of just like word kind of spread between different groups of friends, and then I think it kind of helped just have people have kind of a chemistry since they already kind of had a shorthand kind of between them as friends.
Which that makes complete sense to me, because Trevor is like your eyes throughout the film.
Yeah. He's
who you follow. He's who you connect with most. So
sure.
That's really creative that you guys got his friend.
Yeah. Well, it was good because like you said, he's who you're with. So it's sort of like if you start with him and kind of that's like your foundation, you kind of branch off and kind of build from there. And he was great about doing that.
Whenever I describe this film to people, a lot of times I say it's Bourne-like. Now, obviously, there's no spies in this movie, but it's got the same like intensity that the Bourne films have. How did you guys achieve that intensity without the giant budget and the resources that a Bourne film would have?
Sure. You want to jump in?
Well, I think when we wrote the script, we always knew that it was something that Will wanted to direct, and it was going to be his first feature. And we wanted to do something fun and entertaining, and we wanted to have some action in it. And how do you do that? How do you, do something at a small scale and at the same time, how do you do like an action movie and have you able to direct it?
Sure.
So I think the concept, was get these guys, have most of the stuff take place in this one house around this one location. Kind of the same way that, you know, Tarantino did Reservoir Dogs. He wrote a script that he knew was entertaining, and he also knew that he could do himself, you know, in a tight location.
Yeah, and I think it's, so, like, following up, I think a first feature, we know we're not going to get spaceships and, you know, like, Bourne, like, you know, sort of, we know we're not going to be operating on the same budget level as Bourne, but, you know, but we still, like, we're writing the script, we can pack as much into it as we can possibly do, let's make it as entertaining as we can possibly make it, and so we wanted to do that kind of vibe, just, you know, but we knew we wouldn't be able to do car chases around, you know, Prague or something, you know.
The next one.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen in this film, and there are a lot of set pieces too. What was one of the hardest things to get down during the filming process?
Hardest things to get down. There's a scene. You'll remember. I don't want to give too much away, but there's a scene in the kitchen. It's a pretty busy scene, and there's a lot of sort of actors kind of coming in and out, and I think that was one of the trickiest ones for me, because it just involves so many moving parts and so much sort of choreography with this person goes here, this person comes here, this person comes back. So I think that was one of the trickiest ones. But I think, like you said, I think all the set pieces were all kind of tricky, because I mean, by definition, it's a set piece, and so it's kind of bigger than the other things. So it had more moving parts, you know.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the events that happen in the film, some could consider that they're a little convenient, but they don't come across that way at all.
Oh, cool.
How did you guys, or what did you guys do to try to make it not feel convenient, or make audience not get that vibe?
Sure. I think it's, I mean, and Doug could probably answer this better than I could, but I think it's just, as you're writing the script, you know, if you set things up, they don't feel convenient, because you feel like you've said to the audience, you know, we're setting it up, so this is fair game to happen in this movie. And I think that's one of the things that we want to do. Some of the things are going to be fun, and they're going to come back in different kind of ways, but we're going to set them up so that you don't feel like you're being manipulated.
No, I think that's completely right. It all comes, and it's all about how you set it up. And when you're writing it, also, you know, the stuff that entertains you the most is stuff that almost comes out of left field. You know, and it is a tricky balance, like what you're saying. Like, it comes out of left field, and it's like, oh, that'd be perfect, you know. There's something, I don't want to give stuff away, but there's definitely some things that happen like that. And it's all a matter of, you know, is it set up? Is it grounded in this movie? Can you see this happening? You know, and a lot of times, you know, the audiences are buying it. So
yeah, is it organic? Is it organic to this world? You know, exactly. and if you set it up and you know your world, then, you know, hopefully you can accomplish it.
Yeah, because, you know, other films will do similar things, and you're just like, oh, really? But this one, I was like, oh, man, no.
Good,
you know?
Perfect.
And hopefully the stuff that comes out of left field is inevitable almost, because a lot, you know, these things that maybe you're talking about, you know, a lot of people, you know, come up and be like, oh, I didn't see it, but, you know, makes complete sense that this happened.
Yeah. The film made a huge impact at South by Southwest, and you guys won the Audience Award. And then now you guys are showing at the Dallas International Film Festival. How are you guys feeling?
We're excited.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think, you know, obviously, growing up in Texas, you know, our first two festivals have been Texas festivals. It was really well received at South by, and people seem at least excited to see it here. We haven't had any screenings yet, but people seem excited to see it. So I think we're feeling it's fun. It's just fun. The audiences are enjoying it. They're connecting with it, and so that's, you know, the thing. That's what you want. You make a movie. You don't want people to, you know, to sort of thumb their nose at it. You want them to like it, and it seems like people are responding so far. So we're excited.